Dad's got another tattoo!
On this week's episode, we reveal why Molly-Mae is the most important cultural icon of our generation. We ask, does the new girl in the office fancy one of us? Spoiler, of course she fucking doesn't. And one of us takes a narcissist test as we navigate midlife. Hello and welcome to episode 12 of Mum, Dad's Got Another Tattoo, the Midlife Crisis podcast. I'm Mark and I'm here once again with Richard.
Yeah, hello.
Hello, Richard. Lots to get through today, including a new section that I hope will become a regular feature called Correspondence. We've been asking for people to get in touch, and you can do that at dadsgotanothertattoo@gmail.com or dadsgotanothertattoo on all the social media platforms. Let us know what you're thinking, give us some feedback on the shows, what you do like, what you don't like, and we can try and incorporate that into future episodes. And, you know, we've had some people send in some questions, but you know what? They're people that were guilted into it. They were friends, families.
A little bit leaned on. We leaned on them.
A little bit of leaning going on. However,
puppy dog eyes.
Please send us an email, please. Anyway, today, we've got a real-life listener. Someone we don't even know. Someone we don't even know. Emailed in. And it's Paul. Paul says, just wanted to say I've been enjoying the podcast. That's an introduction that will likely get yourself read out. Often feels like I'm just listening to mates having a chat. Probably not a surprise given I'm a 52-year-old with 3 grown-up kids and a former inhabitant of Chelmsford in Essex.
Come on, son.
What's the first thing comes into your mind when you hear Chelmsford?
Jukes.
I know, yes, Jukes.
We had some times there. Yep, would you like to explain what Jukes is first and foremost to the uninitiated?
Yeah. To the uninitiated, I think many of us will have their own version of Jukes, which is it's a nightclub. In a very old-fashioned sense of the word, the sort of place that wouldn't let you in unless you were basically dressed like your dad, trousers, shoes.
Or if you were 15, you put a waistcoat on just to be sure. You look like you were playing in the snooker finals just to go on a night out.
I went to the Ilford version of Duke's, Fifth Avenue, with a blazer on, had gold buttons. I looked like the fucking major out of 40 Towers.
Lieutenant Colonel, bloody.
Yeah, so it was one of those sticky floor nightclubs.
It was massive, though. It was absolutely massive.
Now, answer me this question. So, as we have spoken about many times, we are children of the suburbs of East London and Essex. Why were we going out to it? London was there. It was there. It was right there. And yet here we are going to Fifth Avenue in Ilford, Jukes in Chelmsford, Kudos in Watford became a destination as well for some reason. I don't know if
you felt the same. I felt a lot more intimidated when we went to London. You know, this is London.
Yeah,
and when you eventually, as we both did, worked in the city, it became the norm. But when you were like some spotty teenager, London, going to the provincial reaches of Essex seemed a lot more comforting.
It was safer.
It was safer.
And also, if you got knocked back and couldn't get in, there were more places to act as a refuge. Even when we did go to London, we had no idea where we were going to fucking Leicester Square like a tourist. However, Paul continues. He just wanted to say how pleased I was that you called out that absolute idiot you had on the Red Pill podcast. He's talking about you, isn't he, Brownie?
That's low, Paul. I was going to say a stranger is a friend you just haven't met yet, and that's blown it out of the water, unfortunately.
No, I think he's referring to other Paul Bauer, who I had some other private correspondence where Bell End was used, and I was going to give him the right to reply, but fuck him. No,
I just enjoyed watching you. How uncomfortable, not enjoyed, but knowing you as I do, your body language told me everything I needed to know about your thoughts before you said them.
You don't have to qualify that. You can perfectly happily sit in my discomfort. I don't mind that at all. And I was uncomfortable. And Paul writes, he wasn't entirely sure if it was right to give him airtime, and I'd perhaps have cut the plug-in of his books and podcasts, but at least you made your views clear. I have 2 daughters and a son, so terrifying people are genuinely peddling such rubbish. You can feed back to him that he's a twat, but please don't have him back now. Unlikely to have him back, not only because of his views, but because now we've slagged him off, I'm too much of a coward to present that to him. But about airtime, I don't regret that at all, and we'll have more people on with views that we don't like. We don't necessarily want this to turn into an echo chamber, although I do suspect we'll have people who think pretty much the same way as us. There'll be variations within that. But I also want people to come on, and so we can develop the vocabulary to debate this. I think if you look at that sort of toxic manosphere space, unless you're permanently online, it's difficult actually to develop the arguments and bring them out of your back pocket immediately when you confront that. And I don't think I did a particularly good job of pushing back against him, because although instinctively I didn't.
He was our first guest, though. He was our first guest. It was that. Where's the boundary? Where's the boundary between pushing back and being rude?
Yeah, I know, and I did feel that guest host dynamic very, very acutely. That I had asked him to come on the show. He'd said yes and given up his time. He, wasn't paid any money for that. And, I thought the least I could do was give him his airtime and also plug his book. I mean, you don't have to buy it if you don't want to. So, but I appreciate, Paul, thank you very much for getting in touch. You are now, on the top shelf of listeners.
Cheers, Paul. Up the jokes.
So, Branley, celebrity news this week. Molly-Mae and Tommy Fury are back together.
Okay.
News.
Is this a quiz? Things I could give less a fuck about, quite frankly. And you know what? I get it. And the dichotomy of you.
Don't, because you know something's coming. You know something's coming.
Yeah, no.
I want you to say what you actually think rather than qualifying it with.
I don't know. I know who Tommy Fury is purely because what I want to explain is the dichotomy of you is you've got far more qualifications than me, far more well-read, yet the other side of you, the trash and you like all the reality, although we do have one guilty pleasure, which is Married at First Sight Australia,
it's not a guilty pleasure for me. I like it. I'm not guilty about it at all.
I think I've gone the other way. I don't know. It was simply on our friends group. It came up as a news story, and I was like, why am I, who are these people and why should I care? What have they done? And
I'm going to tell you.
Yeah. Enlighten me.
So I think Molly-Mae.
Is it Maggie's daughter? There's one for the dads. One for the dads.
Well, if Rod's description of Maggie-Mae, this will probably be a granddaughter or even a great-granddaughter. But I think Molly-Mae is one of the most important cultural icons operating in Britain today.
That's a big shout. Okay, but please.
And I think after I've presented my case, you will see why. So first of all, I'm going to ask you, do you know, could you recognise, say, Samantha Fox, Linda Lusardi or Kathy Lloyd, for example?
Every inch.
Every inch, yeah, exactly. Why is that?
Because that was a house shot, yeah.
And, the question of talent comes up with people like Molly-Mae and reality TV stars, right? But I put that aside, our stereotypical view of talent, you could say that the page 3 girls of the past did not have any talent. I mean, they weren't singers at first. Yeah. Do you see that? Now, I rail against that anyway. I think that, being popular and relatable, that is a talent in itself. But you know who they are, don't you? You could picture them. Of course you do. Because there's always been a place in the British cultural pantheon for the, air quotes now, untalented working class woman. Yeah, but and now. So do you don't know who Molly-Mae is? Do you know who Lauren Miller is?
Yeah, I know. I know the names.
So you vaguely know.
Vaguely know who they are.
Well, I'm going to use Molly-Mae as the example because she's probably the most followed. She's got 8.5 million followers on Instagram, right? And I think that is
that's a serious number. So obviously she's got influence.
Yeah, so she has influence that has come from being on Love Island. That's where her and Tommy Fury met, right? And so people do say, oh, it's trash TV, reality. Yeah, sure it is. I actually love it. But I also like the fact that Molly-Mae and her relationship status is deemed to be worthy of news by the BBC because you've barely heard of her and her like. Whereas previously, you could recall Page 3 girls and other models at a drop of a hat. I think the reason for that is that whatever place these people occupy in the British cultural mind is the same. It's the same. But here's the key difference. Samantha Fox and Linda Lusardi and all her peers were reliant on the male gaze to be popular, which is why you know her. I mean, when my daughter is old enough to realise this, I don't know how I'm going to explain to her that in a national newspaper, every day, like open the cover, there'll be a girl there with her boobs out. I mean, absolutely incredible. Are you Googling it?
Well, no. Question. When did Page 3 stop being a thing? What year?
Relatively recently. I'm going to say 2010, maybe?
2015.
2015?
I know. It's shocking. But yeah, don't get me wrong. We had friends that would buy the paper to see who was Page 3.
Totally normal. Totally normal. And totally dependent on the approval of the male gaze for their popularity.
My mechanic still has a Page 3 calendar up in the workshop. I mean, and I walked in and went, bloody hell. But when we grew up, it was perfect. I would have walked past it. It was perfectly normal.
All for the benefit of the male gaze. But Molly-Mae has she's got a documentary out on Amazon at the moment.
I saw that yesterday, actually. I was going to say, I'm going to sit and watch it because I don't know.
Yeah. No,
I don't know anything about her. I'm going to sit and watch it.
Well, maybe we'll make that an episode. We'll come back with our notes. Now, Molly-Mae is really famous because of her influence and popularity with other women, which I think is a key change in the culture.
Yeah.
Now, does that mean sexism is cured? No, of course it doesn't. But it does show that we've got a bit of progress going on, which is why I think she's popular. And you say, why is it news? As I said, she's got 8.5 million followers on Instagram. Race Across the World, which I think is the most popular BBC programme, gets 5.5 million viewers.
Yeah.
And so because of that, I think Molly-Mae is at least as culturally relevant as any of the top BBC One shows, which means, rightly or wrongly in terms of privacy, she is important to people. But she's not important to you, which is why we're gonna, as men, are going to have to accept that there's more and more stuff that is culturally relevant that isn't for us.
Yeah. And I think it was on our friends group. The BBC News came up, and I was like, "What do I need to know?" It was I was just being, it was 8:00 at night. I was being purely contrarian, just because that's what we do. And then obviously since then you put your points across. Like, okay, I'm interested in watching, and I saw the documentaries on there. Let me have a look. I don't mind being proved wrong. My wife does it. My wife does it 7 times a day. So,
well, it's not about being proven right or wrong. It's about understanding that there is more and more cultural stuff that is relevant to lots of people that just isn't for us, and that's okay. You don't need to get all upset and angry about it.
I did at the time. I was like,
that's what we're here for. We're trying to build, reflect on our lizard brain and our instinctive reactions to things, and trying to rationalise this in the new world that we are, in the hope that we can build a better world together and we can be architects thereof.
That was lovely. Okay, we're talking about building a better world. This was one of those simple men moments that women would say, you're a child. Just one of those moments. And I'm not a spiritual man, but at that moment, the great Carry On actor, he might as well have been in the same room as me. As I've mentioned on here before, my wife and daughter are very much chicken eaters. Where my son and his girlfriend come, which leads on, I love barbecuing, and I do it to a great extent. It drives them nuts, but I love it. I love the whole process. I love preparing. I love the cooking. I love all that. And I think it's a social thing, we're out in the garden, everyone's sitting around talking. I can't see because my eyes are streaming. It's lovely, it's one of those moments. But so my butcher's on Facebook, and then I saw a deal for tomahawk steaks. I knew that was going to be right up my son's Strasser. Ran down there when they opened, got a couple, but they had them frozen. Right, okay, let it thaw out. But the size of it, my fridge isn't particularly big. It's just a standard fridge, and I'm trying to get this steak in there. Next thing I know, I get it in the fridge, however it goes in. My darling wife comes home an hour later. I walk in the kitchen, and she opens the fridge door and utters the words, "You've shoved your meat in and squashed my raspberries." Right. Now,
that's like a red to a bull, isn't it?
I mean, and at that moment, it was like the light came down. It was like I had Bernard Bresler on one shoulder and Sid Jones on the other. And all I could do was...
You dirty old man.
I giggled like a kid. And she was so funny. And how can you explain that moment to your wife? We are children. You've stuck your meat in and you've squashed my raspberries. I mean, come on, you
Chance
can't.
to be a fine thing, madam.
Yeah, it was one of those moments where I'm just like, thank you. Even now, I don't think she realised what she said.
No, sometimes the universe offers you up an assist like that, doesn't it? What can you do? What can you do? I ram it home.
You ram it home.
But so you mentioned there that you're barbecuing. You also hinted that you like a bit of smoking. And by that I mean barbecue smoking. We're not talking about vaping or mobile lights or anything like that. I don't even think there are mobile lights anymore. But so talk us through. I'm more interested in the emotional side of this. Like, why are you doing this? Is it because you're deeply unhappy?
Oh, do you know what? At the end, I will I'll go to the butcher and I'll buy so many. I'll go there and go, I'll buy some kebabs. I will buy thighs. I love the process because it's one of those ceramic eggs. I got one of the Kamados, they're called. But you can barbecue on it. You can smoke on it. I've done smoked salmon on it, cold smoked salmon. And it's just that process. I love that. Being outside, we're in the garden. I'll take my tablet out, I'll put YouTube on or watch a bit of sport. The girls will be chilling out inside. I'll be in the garden, and it's just nice where be out there. I'll sit on the furniture. And it's genuinely my way of winding down because I know exactly how to do stuff. There's no thought process behind it. I cheat. I've got a meat thermometer. I set the temperature I want it to go in. I jam it in the meat. I get the temperatures right, and it's just my chill out time. I've got tons of rubs, sauces, you name it. But it's just my.
So is it I mean, how much attendance is actually required? Because from your description, you're out there the whole smoking period, the whole time.
No. I mean, sometimes I've smoked stuff for 12 hours. You're not out there the whole time. I can smoke stuff for 3-4. But with the probe, you've got an app on your phone. You're keeping an eye on it. But more like I've bought. You know me. I've got rotisseries for chicken wings. I will do proper kebabs with the thighs and have it on the rotisserie. But then I've got the steel plate for the burgers that will take 10 minutes. But however it is, I'll be out there for that. But when it's a long one, just indoors. But it's just, most days say I'm doing kebabs and stuff. That's an hour and a half on the rotisserie, but then I'll just be checking it. But it's just nice being out there. I'll sit there, watch something, chill out. It's in addition to my chill out time.
Yeah, no, I totally appreciate that. I can imagine your good lady wife, and if I was explaining this to mine as well, would compare it to the female experience of buying food and cooking it, which is probably less.
Yeah.
I don't know what the right word is. Fussy.
Yeah. I've cooked. We've been together 16 years. Please don't quote me on that, baby, if you're listening. She doesn't listen. I think she listened to one fucking episode.
You don't fucking listen. Don't have a go at
No,
that.
that's true. That's true. I don't listen either. I just turn up. The talent just turns up, doesn't he? Like Robbie Williams. I do all the cooking. She's happy with that. You know, they're busy. They go to the stables before school. She does all the house stuff in the day, and they do the stables in the evening. And in the winter, that's hard. So if I'm working from home, and today they've been out since 10 o'clock this morning. I can't then say, darling, get the fucking dinner on. Do you know, that's not how it is, but I enjoy doing it. Yeah. But that's
does she like it, the smoking and barbecue stuff as well? I mean,
when she likes I'll do burger. Don't get me started. I'll do burger wraps. I won't just do burgers in the bun. There's wraps. You melt cheese. But yeah, the both of them like the chicken I do, but I have to do so many chicken things. It's like when my son comes, that's when I'll do some chicken, I'll do some beef, because otherwise it's you have to do large things for yourself. Yeah. I used to be big. I don't want to go down that road again, so I limit myself to the chicken stuff, and that's where the creativity comes in, where I'll do many different chicken things. Yeah, but then, like, they're coming this weekend, and I've already got some beef rib in the fridge.
Yeah, well, those without seeing cast the first stone and all that. I'm not an outdoor cooker by any means, but we'll definitely get adventurous internally.
Aye.
In the...
There's Sid again on my shoulder.
Cooking's rife for this sort of stuff, isn't it? Soggy bottoms. And,
get Nigella on. I mean, she does it on purpose. God bless her.
I'm sure she does. I've got some Japanese knives that I use for my cooking, and I haven't gone unusually for me. I haven't gone like head first into this. I did go to a specialist shop.
Oh, she did.
And I immediately was confronted with knife wankery. So I knew nothing about knives, and I have essentially ended up with the starter pack, which, to be fair, the guy behind the counter said, what do you need? You need a big knife, a small knife, and a bread knife, and that's basically it. The guy next to me was air cutting things. So he had the
Fuck
knife.
Off. He wasn't.
He was. Right? Of course he was a bloke. He had the knife, he had a chopping board, and you know that curly, you curl your finger over.
You put the finger through the little hole?
No. You know, if you're going to speed cut an onion or something like a chef, you sort of put your hand on it, but then you sort of curl your fingernails underneath your fingers, so you basically don't chop them off to create a bit of an angle. So he's there getting it ready and then chopping away. No. Fucking chopping anything. God knows what he was doing. So that's knife wankery.
Yeah. I mean, I love cooking. I chop like I've taken 4 tramadol. I'm so scared of chopping my finger.
Yeah, you have to be careful with these knives. Are fucking sharp. I just took mine back to be sharpened, and I got told off.
What, too blunt?
No, well, generally just hadn't looked after it in the way that they expected.
Well, that is Mark will buy these things and just fucking lob them in a drawer. And to be fair, I never knew. This is something we hadn't discussed. I went and bought some new knives last week. Right. Yeah, I mean, I was thinking, should I buy the high-end stuff? And I thought, I went mid-range. I was out with my daughter, and I went, right, Pro Cook, did a nice set, a few £100, lovely. I walk home, my wife says, fuck, you bought those for? Because I need them for what I do. Next morning, she used a knife, went, cut myself. Well, that's not my fault, is it?
No, they're famous knives for that. That's
what they do. It's legitimately.
She didn't believe the hype.
No, she fucking does now.
No, but it does make a difference, though.
Massively.
Of carving up. And I bought my father-in-law one for his birthday. It's a nice little present. And he sent me a picture of...
Such a bloke thing, isn't it?
He sent me a picture of, I can't remember, it might have been smoked salmon that he'd sliced so finely that it was translucent. So.
Like the garlic in Goodfellas when they're using the razor blades. That's... Again, exactly another modern reference. Fucking hell.
So, we know you like rubbing things, Mrs. We could call this the Ghost of Sid James, I think. This. The other thing you like rubbing, of course, is your fucking car.
I love my car.
Why? You said you were detailing it. I don't even know what it means.
Right.
What does detailing mean?
Detailing is a word for deep cleaning. So when I got it, I could have paid, I think it was like £500 to have it ceramicked. So they put a ceramic coating on the car, or I can buy that for £150 and do it myself. So me with my ADHD, what do? I buy it for 150 quid and spend 6 hours watching detailing videos on YouTube. So detailing is quite simple. When you've got, and this is science, Mark, because I know you won't. Right, when your car's got dirt on it, if you just get chuck a bit of water on it and then get the soap out, what are you doing? Yeah. You're literally getting that dirt and swirling it into the paintwork. If you put a light on your car, or see the sun, you'll see those swirl marks. They're not supposed to be there. Right. I use a little pre-wash.
There's no such thing as pre-wash. Right? I'm going to demonstrate this with facts.
I knew you'd fucking... Go on.
What is the purpose of pre-wash?
Right.
What does pre-wash do?
It's a denser foam that I use through a gun I've bought. Again, more money. And the foam I've bought... I've bought more stuff since I sent you that photo, by the way.
I believe you. Yeah. Come on.
Right. So what you do, you put the foam on the car.
Yeah.
And do you know what? I thought about you this weekend, you fucking prick. Right? Because I did the missus car. You spray that foam on, and what that does, it lifts off the majority of the dirt, and you can see it coming down before...
Yeah, that's washing.
No, because you're not. No, because you're not rubbing the surface, you fucking chump.
Right.
And putting swat.
I'm sorry. Right. That is mere semantics, right? The washing does not necessarily imply rubbing. Like your washing machine doesn't rub things, for example. Washing is the process of removing dirt.
You're getting so many YouTube videos tonight. It's going to be unreal. Right.
I'm not disputing its...
It takes.
I'm not. I'm disputing the fact that it's called fucking pre-wash because it's not anything. It is washing.
Oh my! You're such a little. How? Okay, I'm washing the car, but it's. Yeah. But it's called a pre-wash. Oh my!
No, marketing bollocks, right? Just like pre-ordering.
You're so about the semantics. This is what drives me mad with you.
Well, I think we need to bring these things to the surface. And pre-wash is in exactly the same category as pre-ordering. It's no different to ordering.
I make you right.
What do you do when you pre-order? You buy something that is going to come later. Just like ordering something. No such fucking thing as pre-ordering. No such thing as pre-wash.
Do you know, when I was seeing your message, I was like, I'm fucking got you here. But now I get where you're coming. It's washing, but it's the first stage of washing,
Yeah, stage one for pre-wash. No such fucking thing.
Mine's cherry, by the way. It smells delicious.
Right, but you've so you bought. What I am interested in your electric car, and I'm not really a car person. Not something that really gets the juices flowing. But I am interested in the electric car element of it. So, how are you getting on with that? Charging it? How long does it take? How far can you drive on it? Have you had any near misses yet? Like, as in, like running out of juice?
Honestly, it's been fantastic. Now, the one I've bought is the first of its generation with the new battery, so it's a big jump up. Right, VW Group designed this for the Porsche Macan, the Audi Q6, and the new Bentley that's coming out. So it's the first of its generation. The batteries last a hell of a lot longer. See, I've been looking at them and been interested, but there's been for years. But there's been the limitations on how quick they charge, how long it lasts, and I sort of held off. Then this came out, and I thought it will go from 20%. If you use, don't get me wrong, and this is more expensive. Say, for instance, I was out and you were doing long distances. If I use one of the fast chargers that's out, it will do from 20% to 80%. And you shouldn't really, unless you're doing, like the other week, I went to Sheffield and back.
Yeah.
I charged it to 100%, which gives me 345 miles.
So
Real world.
Sheffield, how far is that? About 150 miles, 200 miles, is it?
Yeah. There was 5 of us in the car with luggage, and I had one charge. On the way,
Right.
I did 20 minutes charge.
So what's that like? Stopping at the services, you plug it in.
Yeah, we stopped at the services. All the services now have the fast charge. You literally, you tap your bank card on it, plug it in, tap it to finish. And I've got an app on my phone that shows me how much charge is in it. But also, when you plan the journey, so you use the sat-nav, it will say, okay, you're going this far. If we need to charge, it will find the best charger to use, tell you how long to charge it. It does it all for you. It's a game changer.
So when you plug it in, you get out, you go for a piss, you have a Burger King, you get back in the car, it's done.
Yeah, we were going up for a pony thing. So we had my wife, my daughter's friend, and her mum. So we had them all in the car. The kids played in a play park. By the time I finished, we were at full charge. In half an hour, we were back to full charge.
Oh,
it was effortless. And the best thing about having it is, when you get a new car, you don't want to park next to other cars. No bugger. The parking bays are bigger for electric cars, and no buggers in them. So you haven't got to worry about it. At home's brilliant because so many electric suppliers now are geared up for EV cars.
All right. So what do you do? Do you get like a unit that you install? How does that work?
When I bought the car, because the government now are so eager for electric cars, Audi put £6,000 towards the car, so the price dropped by £6,000. Part of the deal is Omi, who are one of the best companies around, will install the charger for free. So you've got that cost down. Yeah. So effectively, off the cost of the car, I save £7,500.
That is pretty good. And when you fill it up, so 100%, so what's this, a big $4? When I fill up the car that can tow the horses at our end, you're looking at 110 quid to fill it up with diesel.
Okay, so I'm with Octopus Energy, but they have, when you sign up for them, they do an EV rate, which overnight, with my car, I can set, with the app, I can set it to charge at the cheapest rate. So you do that. Effectively, long story short, a guy that I've been following for a while who does 1,000 miles a month in my car and uses the Octopus Overnight app costs him 40 quid.
Wow. That is, I've got to change.
Look, you pay more for the car, admittedly, but I mean, when I see next,
like 40 quid a month.
40 quid a month.
I've been 10 times that in petrol sometimes.
It depends what you do. I mean, I'm going to do 9,000 miles a year. It's peanuts. Yeah. Okay, you've got to make sure you've got your electrics are right, because that's the most important thing. Make sure, because otherwise you could need work. You could need work. Luckily, my son's an electrician. I needed a few bits that I didn't realise. Just a bit ground. I mean, I'm talking a few hundred quid's worth of work. And plus, it looks fucking...
I don't give a fuck about that. But. Right, that's enough of that. End of part 1.
Hello, welcome back to part 2. It's my turn now.
I'm a bit nervous.
Well, Mark did his test for me the other week, and we found the perfect one for him. It is a narcissism test.
Yeah, I was a bit nervous about this because I was showing off about getting cured of imposter syndrome, and apparently the people that do that are narcissists.
So this is from Psychology Today. It's their narcissism test. It's got 20 questions. Only takes 3 minutes. I bet with us waffling on, it takes a fucking lot longer. So it says, how narcissistic are you? Sorry, I can't get through this. Constantly craving attention and admiration. Narcissistic individuals believe they are superior to others, while self-esteem and confidence are healthy. Severe narcissism may tip into a personality disorder. Take this test to learn where you fall on the spectrum. Now, I know I joke about this with Mark. I don't think he has narcissism. He's just extremely confident and will beat you into submission. Oh, yeah. No, but it's just interesting to take these tests and see where you are.
Well, already I'm thinking if I am a narcissist, I'm going to be the best fucking narcissist there is.
Right, so you've got using the key below, answer the questions based on how strongly you agree or disagree with the statement. So you've got disagree, neutral, or agree. That's it.
All right, okay.
So question 1. I often fantasize about having unlimited success, power, or beauty.
Agree.
Okay, so we've got, is that strongly agree,
No,
agree?
just agree. Just agree.
Okay. Number 2, I deserve to be treated with the utmost respect and deference regardless of the circumstances.
Strongly disagree.
Okay.
I'll tell you the story. I could tell you the story about it.
Number 3, I can't stand it if another person is the centre of attention.
Strongly disagree.
Number 4, I don't know if I make a good leader.
Disagree. Make a fucking good leader.
5, I get angry when I don't get what I want from others.
Let me read out a message I sent to Richard just today.
Oh, yeah. I was going to get to this.
When he didn't reply to me within 4 seconds.
And I was driving the car.
Oh, you fucking wastrel. If you're playing fucking golf, I'm going to do my nut.
I was driving the fucking car.
Strongly agree.
I love it when I get those messages. I waited so long to respond because I know he's getting more and more annoyed.
Fucking bang out of order.
Sorry, listeners. And then he went, I'll be home by 3:30. There's me sitting like a mug at R4 waiting for him. He's never on time.
I was late for a client lunch today by 21 minutes.
Number 6, I get annoyed if another person steals the show from me.
Strongly disagree.
Number 7, it's hard to show my vulnerabilities to others.
Strongly disagree. Tell everyone everything.
Don't you just. Number 8, I like to show off.
Strongly agree.
Number 9, I have a lot to learn from other people.
Neutral. I mean, I used to look up to a lot of people, especially professionally, and at the moment, I'm struggling. Apart from my boss, he's very good.
Love you, boss.
Yeah, I'm not going to say
solidarity
because this will be in every green podcast. So whoever that is will listen to that. So you're fine.
Number 10, I'm not satisfied until I get everything I deserve.
Agree. 11,
I take pleasure in the failure of my rival.
Strongly rivals.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like because there's that quote I think which is like it's not enough for me to succeed, others must fail, and I definitely don't feel like that. Like, people I really want to cheer on, I'm happy to do that. So put neutral for that. Yeah, some people I think good, fuck you deserve that.
We know people that would want to bury everyone they come across. It's
that
just
is
sort
true.
of.
That is true.
Number 12, I expect special treatment from others.
Neutral. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't.
13, I start to feel badly about myself when I go unnoticed.
Disagree.
14, I think I'll be famous someday.
Well, I didn't start a podcast, fuck all, did I? Strongly agree.
Get in. 15, all I want is to be reasonably happy.
Agree. I don't want to be reasonably happy. I want to be exceptionally happy.
Okay, so that's interesting. So what would your answer be? Because you...
Yeah, neutral okay. on that. I don't know whether neutral... he's got a bit of a cop-out, but...
16, I find it easy to manipulate people.
Strongly disagree, seeing as I've been in my sales job for 18 months and currently raise precisely 0 revenue.
And you're absolutely shit at origami.
That is true. Fucking useless with knots.
17, I tend to disregard the feelings and needs of others.
Disagree.
18, having authority over others is important to me.
Agree. Mm-hmm. But I mean, that's more like a work career progress thing, but I also agree.
19, when others get a sense of my true needs, I feel anxious and ashamed.
Strongly disagree.
Sounds a bit weird. 20. 20. I like this one. If I ruled the world, it would be a better place.
Fucking A. Strongly agree.
Okay, let's score the test.
Okay, so the results in. What am I? Am I off to the funny farm or what?
The results are in. So, what do your scores mean? You are 37 to 63, so you're in the middle. Which, knowing you as long as I do, or as long as I have, I'd say is correct. You don't have, for me personally, you don't have narcissistic tendencies. You're confident. You express that in a way that I don't, and you're driven in that way. So I think that's quite an accurate result, and that's me saying that from someone that's known you for a long time and who's probably biased because I'm a friend of yours. But I'd say that's correct. You fucking lunatic.
Well, I'm looking at this and now I've got the result. You've sent it through to me. The average score is 43 and I'm 44. Fucking average. What?
He's walking around up near Lowell Gallagher at the moment.
I'll fucking show them average. Right, so apparently, Richard, you've been going to boudoirs where somebody manipulates your body and you make noises like, oh.
I have.
Oh,
I have.
What's all that about, you dirty old bastard?
Tell you what, right, my body is breaking down, quite frankly. I'm at that age where in your 20s and teens, you think you're invincible, and I played stupid sports, and you think, oh, you get over that injury in 6 months, and then 15 years later, it goes, remember me? Remember me? Right. So my neck hasn't been in a good place. The last few weeks, I've realised my neck movement has been getting less and less. I've been getting all the way down the mid. I've been going for deep tissue massages, and let me tell you, amazing. I am now, irrespective of whether I feel pain or not, I'm getting one a month. At the moment, I'm having 2 a week. 1 deep tissue, 1 normal massage. So yeah.
And how do you feel after? I've had a few deep tissue massages and I feel fucking dreadful afterwards. It's like nauseous almost.
I mean, I've never been shot, but when I had my severe issues, I do have a high pain threshold, and they've said, so I don't mind it. And the guy that does it has nailed, I didn't say, I explained what my issues were, but he nailed the exact points of where I thought my issues were. And he went, it's here, it's here, it's here, and it's here. And then showed me where I had pain in other areas, what was causing it. Said I'm going to feel rough for 24 to 48 hours. After that, I felt amazing. But obviously, it's one of those processes you've got to keep up. Maintenance. So every time I've had it in the last few weeks, it's been rough for a few hours, a few days after. Then I felt great. But that feeling great period is extended. And then I marry that up with someone else there that does just a nice massage. I mean, you've got how I've not fallen asleep. I mean, my worry is the only thing that's stopping me falling asleep is me dribbling through the hole like the Predator. Just that's the only thing that's keeping me awake. Oh, yeah. The deep tissue, not so much falling asleep because you can feel that, but the other ones are lovely. Yeah, and I genuinely now realise I abused my body with sport for a lot of years, and now I need to take care of it.
Yeah, I think you make a good point actually, because a lot of the time, particularly men, we will only go and sort something out like you did because basically you're at your wit's end. I cannot live like this anymore. You've been walking around with your neck in a funny position for like 6 months. You go, do you know what? I should probably go and get this sorted out. Yeah. And then it gets fixed, maybe only temporarily, and you forget about it again. So I think it's a great example of how keeping up with these things are now more essential than ever. I really believe in that.
It's like when you get an older car, still runs all right, but the upkeep takes a bit more time and dedication. That's where I know where I am now.
It does.
Yeah,
I mean, I wanted to get away really from not get away, but not dwell too much on me aching knees and me aching.
Oh, your
back
your knees are horrendous.
They are. I dislocated my right knee 9 times in my 20s.
Can we tell the best story ever?
Oh, yeah. So one of my issues, a lot of the time, my kneecap used to pop out of its joint and then pop back in pretty soon afterwards. None of that is pleasant, but when it's out, it's like the most painful thing you've ever experienced in your whole life. When it pops back in, the actual movement of it's not the greatest fun in the world, but once it's back in, it's like, oh, it's fine. And the first time I ever did it, I did it on like a Wednesday. It popped back in before I got to A&E, and they just looked at my knee and go, yeah, what's the matter with it? I went, it popped out. Yeah, but what about now? All right, nothing. I was playing football again on Saturday. And the last time that I did it, and probably the last time I played outfield football, which is going to be relevant to what happened earlier in the week, it did not pop back in. It was out. So I had to be taken to hospital. And as they wheeled me down the ramp, they whacked my leg into the fucking... it was like a handrail that was down the ramp and with like support structures, and I went bang straight into that. Fucking hurt, I can tell you that. But I was reminded of this week when I was away for business in Manchester, and I went to run across the road, and as you said, knee went, hi, remember me? Fucking hell, right? So it was a bit of bone-on-bone action. But, so it wasn't very pleasant. The worst thing about it was that I caught a glimpse of myself in a shop window as I was running, let's call it running, hobbling across the road slightly faster than a walk. It might have even been a courtesy run, as in I'm still going the same speed as walking, but I'm signalling to the car that I'm actually in a hurry, even though I'm not. But I caught a glimpse of myself and I thought, oh, fuck it, look at the state of that. Like,
you realise where you are in life at that point, don't you?
Do you know what? I was reminded of being very critical of Rishi Sunak during the general election campaign. I mean, there are many reasons, but this was top of the list. He was asked to do a bit of dribbling with a football, and it was painful. It was painful, but now, in retrospect, I feel a bit sorry for him, right? Because let's assume that when was the last time you actually kicked a ball?
It was a while ago. It was a while ago.
Same for me. Like at least 10, 15 years ago, right? And I think now I would rate myself as a football player, you know. I didn't ascend to any heights, but as we, you know, in a few games,
solid standard.
It's a few games, semi-professional. That was about it. And I don't think anyone would say I didn't look like a footballer. So I would approach this with confidence. But if I remember, he was in his suit with his shiny shoes on. The grass was a little bit too long. And if I had been in that situation, running like I ran across that road, do you think anyone would think, well, he obviously used to be a good player?
He's a player.
No, absolutely not.
No, I mean, let me tell you something now. I'm at that age and you think, I broke the ball of my heel, 8 years ago? That's fine, you know, got over that. Now, get to winter, I know it's raining before I get out of bed. That's sad.
Right, this is getting a little bit too old.
Yeah. Bring it back.
I'm going to bring it back to where our mind goes, because I think the middle-aged man, it's the mind that is the issue, and where it goes. So we have a new executive assistant at work.
Oh, okay. This is where we're going. Okay.
We have a new executive assistant at work. She's probably, I don't know, I'm going to say mid to late 20s, and my first conversation with her was about protein powder, but she's an expert because she is a regular gym goer as well, and she was very friendly to me, and I've had 2 thoughts that was then punctured by a third reality.
Go on.
Or the actual reality. So the first fault was, one foot in the youth thing. I'm in good shape these days.
Fancies a slice. She fancies a slice of the old Margie boy.
A little bit. But then, of course, I recalled the reflection of the man hobbling across the road. I thought, if she does, is it a scam?
What does she really want?
Yeah, what's she really up to? And then I thought, but she's what, 20 years younger than me? Maybe she thinks I'm her dad and she's tracked me down. And then something happened. I walked into the office the other day and she called me Paul.
Oh, no.
And she has called me Paul subsequently 6 times.
I'm surprised you haven't pulled her up on this.
I have. I said,
oh, fucking hell.
She said to me, yeah, but you look like a Paul. And what I realised in that moment was that I'm just some middle-aged grey man, the kind of bloke that looks like Paul with all the other Pauls that she knows. And so I don't think she fancies me. I don't think she thinks I'm secretly her father. She just thinks I'm an old geezer who looks like a Paul.
She's getting through the day.
You said the other day that one of your great pleasures in life was dropping your wife and daughter off somewhere and then going to Nando's. Is this the case?
Thursdays are our favourite nights because it's gymnastics night. So I will take my darling daughter to gymnastics. Next door is Nando's. So I have this down to a fine art. I can drop her off 10 minutes before, get down, order, have a lovely time, sit, chill out, 45 minutes and catch the last 25 minutes of the gymnastics. So she's happy. That's the most important bit. The first bit's all the warming up. I've caught the most important bit. My wife gets a bit of downtime and I get to eat chicken and chips.
Well,
it's the perfect scenario.
Your word for this ordering time management system that you've created, because I have never been to Nando's.
I mean, that's the most Tory thing that's ever been said.
I'm not Tory.
I know you're not, but it's a Tory comment. You've never been to Nando's.
Never been to Nando's. It's part of my identity. I will not go to Nando's.
Half chicken, peri chips, and a corn and a cob.
I hear all this, right? And I've decided that there are 2 types of people in the world. People who go to Nando's and people who don't. And
don't get me wrong.
That don't.
If I had a choice...
You do have a choice.
What? Of standing there with these other parents, that we've discussed that I don't want to talk to, or going to have some above average chicken. I mean, I would have cooked it better, don't get me wrong. I would have seasoned it way better. But if I had a choice of doing that and going to have something to eat and having an hour or so to myself, I'm taking that hour all day long. Yeah,
I would take the hour as well, but I just do not go to Nando's.
So you'd be sitting outside reading some Dostoevsky or something?
Maybe.
Hold on, I remember. What was the book you were reading? We flew on holiday somewhere and you...
Crime and Punishment.
It was Crime and Punishment. Yes, you were sitting on the plane. I looked at you, what a wanker. Why are you reading that?
So I don't like this. This is why I don't like Nando. I think you've summed up why I don't go to Nando's. It is right in the middle of that anti-intellectualism, anti-mind expanding. No, but it represents so much more than that to me. It represents the sort of person that looks at someone reading Crime and Punishment by Dostoevsky. I didn't finish it, by the way.
Bit heavy, wasn't it?
Oh, it's fucking long. Looks at that and thinks, what a wanker. Doesn't think, I wonder what that book's about. I wonder what lessons can be learned for that. No, they think, what's a wanker? And those people, all of them, go to... Now, I'm not saying everyone in Nando's would say I was a wanker, but all people who say, wanker, go to Nando's. And that's why I don't want part of it. It means so much more to me than fried chicken. Okay, well, we got through loads there, Rich. A positive tour of the cultural relevancies of of things that are plaguing modern middle-aged man. So if you relate to any of those, either how Rich approaches things, how I approach things, we would love to hear from you. Just like our gold standard listener, Paul. Hi, Paul. Thanks for listening.
Paul.
You're our favourite. Get in touch on email at Dad's Got Another Tattoo at gmail.com. We're at Dad's Got Another Tattoo on all the social media platforms. We'll probably have another guest on next week, so we'll listen to that, and then Rich and I will react to it and discuss it as well. And as we said before, if there are topics you'd like covered, if there are types of guests that you want to hear from, let us know. We'll get them on and maybe produce something that you actually like.
We might even get some of our friends on to give you their views on us. So that could be quite interesting.
Yeah, if we get really desperate, we'll do that.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, we're not that point yet.
Anyway, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much for listening, everyone, and we will see you next time. Goodbye.
See you later.